The story begins with the narrator telling us that there are different kinds of ghosts, comparing them to good children and bad children. Augustus was a bad child. He ran away from home. After stealing from his mother's purse, he hopped on a bus to the countryside. Now, he was standing in front of a broken-down old cottage. Augustus went inside and heard someone calling his name. Turning around, he found a young boy standing by his side. His name was Arthur.
Turn round, Augustus. I won't bite. I'm your friend. The boy's name was Arthur. He had run away from home too.
He tells Augustus that there are ghosts in the old cottage. Bad ghosts. They decide, for whatever reason, to make prank calls. First calling the police and telling them that there was a burglar in the house. As soon as they placed the phone down, police dogs came crashing through the windows, and the front door was kicked in. The police weren't very happy when they found out it was all a practical joke, and left in a huff. Augustus and Arthur quickly jumped back onto the phone, this time calling for an ambulance. When the ambulance arrived, Augustus pretends to faint, and once again, they weren't very happy when they figured out it was just a prank. Finally, the boys call for the fire brigade.
Where's the fire? Over here. Don't you know how to knock? Come on, laddie, where's the fire? It's over here. Come and warm your tootsies.
After a tiring day of pranking, the boys fell asleep in front of a roaring fire. In the morning, they awoke feeling cold. Augustus wanted to continue making prank calls, but Arthur had gone cold on the idea. Augustus thinks up one final prank, calling his parents and telling them that there are ghosts in the house trying to get them. The boys make the call, and his parents arrive.
When Augustus's parents jumped down off the bus, they could smell the fire. What's happened? Two young muckabouts must have fallen asleep in front of the fire. Log probably rolled out onto the carpet. But they just phoned us, told us to come and get them. There's a 12-headed monster in there. That sounds like them, all right. Augustus! Augustus! Hi, Mum. Am I glad to see you? We were terrified last night. There were hundreds of ghosts. Where? Here, said Augustus. Here? Said Augustus's mother. What did they look like? A bit like us, said Augustus. Then he and Arthur walked out of the cottage through the solid stone wall.
Oh, Grizzly Tales, you never fail to show how cruel you can be. Not only do you have two kids who burnt to death in this old cottage, but you had to include the parents coming in and finding out that their kids are dead. Oh, family fun for everyone! Overall, the Broken Down Cottage isn't the stronger of the stories. I dare to say it's one of the weaker ones, compared to some of the stuff that we're going to be visiting down the line. The grisliness is there, considering, you had two kids burned to death, but there isn't really a cautionary tale now, is there? One thing I'd like to give this episode is the foreshadowing at the beginning, when the narrator compares bad ghosts to bad children. As you can see in the episode, they were some bad kids, but I don't think the penalty for doing crank calls should be being burnt alive. Although, I do live in the era of nuisance calls, so each to their own, I think. Now we're getting in familiar territory for me. We are coming up to the episodes of Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids that I began with and watched when I was younger. Have you ever wondered why old people act like children? Is it because they're just enjoying their life? Or could it be something all the more gruesome?